I forgot to do a paper. We had to do this. We had to go to an AA or NA meeting.
You forgot paper?
I went a different class.
Yeah, this other class is addictions. I completely forgot to do the damn paper. But she said as long as I did it.
Never mind, I'm just there.
My session was only 27 minutes, but I thought it was a little short.
10 points off.
Thank you guys for coming back today for our session. We worked on a lot of different things over the last 3 weeks, for communicating and, giving each other more positive feedback. And I just wanted to check in and see how this week's going for you guys.
Well, we went to Taco Bell instead of McDonald's, so that started the week off on a good foot because Mom and I weren't kind of getting into our usual stuff about her not knowing what I like and me making her feel like a crappy mom and all that. So that was good. But I don't know. I still feel like there's still all this, everybody hovering over me because somebody put something in my drink. Yeah, it was serious. I went to the hospital, but it's just still this sense like it's my fault and everyone's trying to watch over me like I'm going to do something crazy.
Sherry, when you say everybody's hovering over you, who
Them, right there. I mean, they're just like, watching over my every move as if, I'm going to go out and overdose again, or I'm going to do some crazy thing with my friends and this and that. And it's just like, that just puts more pressure on me, makes me want to leave the house. And
so in a sort of way, it sounds like you're the center of attention for these two people, your mother and grandmother.
Yeah, that's
hell
true.
yeah, that's why we're here, right? Because I OD'd and we got.
Well, let me
Deal with the
clarify.
problem.
I'm kind of tired of it too.
Yeah, somebody, what kind of jerk put a drink in that teenager's glass? And let me clarify, we're watching you, or speak for myself. It was not, I didn't feel like you made a mistake or whatever. I'm just so concerned. You didn't know what we're like to be in the hospital emergency room with you when you were in the coma.
If we could just stop the session for just a second. I sort of noticed you two, I mean, you're directly talking to your child now, which is great. I'd like to see more of this talking to each other, but initially when you started out, you guys sort of spoke together and it was, it felt like more of you guys were teaming when you were speaking to
Yeah, thank
Cherry.
you. That's my world. That's my whole life.
It was not teaming. It was like we're just concerned. I was so concerned. Like at that point, it was not like, hey, we're gonna get together, deal with him. It was, when you're in a family emergency, you have a kid, and
I understand. your
everything
concern.
was less important than.
One of the things we've been working on in here is communication, and so let's just check in with Cherry. How does that feel when they're both communicating at the same time to you directly and you're...
I get annoyed. I just want to just check out, hang out with my friends because I think it's like hard enough to deal, with just grandma. I know that, you were concerned because I was in a coma and all that, but since then, there's still this, constantly on my case, who are you hanging out with, where are you, this, that, and the other thing, and now to have, two people doing that, it's like, double the energy.
So in this moment when they both sort of, began speaking to you simultaneously, it reminds you of like your day-to-day interactions. It's sort of, you get that feeling that they're teaming up on you. And you said specifically that you distance yourself. You check out.
I wish I could just head out the door right now, but I know that, just be in more hot water if I were to walk out.
Mom, Grandma, did you hear that what Cherry was saying here is that when she feels like you guys are pursuing her, it sort of distances her more from you.
That's really heartbreaking for me. I'm, you know, before the drug thing, we didn't have much problem, and she was, well, of course, she was a lot younger before. It's just like I don't know what to do. I don't want, she end up that way, and I want to protect her. I felt like it was my fault, somebody put in her, what happened. And
So, Grandma, you don't want Sherry to check out like that and distance herself.
no, that just made me worry more. It's like, it's like I got speaking of annoyed, she gets annoyed. I got annoyed too. I got annoyed like I'm gonna almost get this paranoia. What?
So we don't continue the cycle of you feeling you need to, sort of hover Cherry, and you feel like you need to check out when she is pursuing you. I'm wondering if you could maybe tell your grandmother and mother what they could do to help, you with not feeling.
Well, what I would love is we had some kind of system like I just text my grandma or my mom or both. Here's where I am. Here's where I'm coming home. One text, and they just now you know where I am, and then it's up to me to be where I'm going to be and come home when I'm going to come home. But not this constant, my phone just rings and rings, text after text. Where are you? Who are you at? Where? I mean, it's just this nonstop onslaught of monitoring my every move. If we could just say, tell me where you are, how long you're going to be there. There's one sort of connection. All right, okay, Grandma knows where I am, and that's it. Just kind of leave it at that, and then, wait till I come home at whatever time, and then maybe ask me how things were, but not this constant checking in with me every, 15 minutes to see am I really where I'm supposed to be, and who am I spending time with now, where am I now, da-da-da-da. It's just, we could just limit all that hovering. It would really help me out.
So in order for you not to check out, you need the hovering to maybe not necessarily stop, but maybe limit some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm still a teenager, and it's not like I can just do what I want and never check in with my grandma or my mom. But just, we got to draw a line somewhere. And the more that they hover, I'll just turn my phone off. Because, who wants to, have that thing beeping every 5 minutes, and then it just makes me more annoyed, and then I'm just like, the hell with it. I'm not even going to tell them where I am.
I'm seeing some really great communication going on right now, and just to sort of continue with that, I would like to get both of your responses to what Sherry said. But in your response, if you could use what we call an I statement, and so or an I position, which basically says like, for example, just saying how you feel about what his request is about. I'm sorry, Sherry. How you guys feel about Sherry's request for you guys to maybe back off a little bit.
I apologize for all the phone calls and but I wanna let you know that it's not I wanna do it. That doesn't sound right. I feel like I was almost obligated. I was not trying to monitor where you are. My only concern is her safe or not. That was the concern. I think there's, my intention didn't get delivered the way I intended. And I appreciate your great suggestion, tell us where you are at, and but maybe let's start, to talk about, maybe you can tell us not as the whole day we didn't know where you are. When you're in school, things are different. But, when during the weekends you go out with friends, things a little bit, it's really, whenever before she come back and close the door, I cannot sit still in the chair.
So I hear you talking a lot about specific behaviors that Cherry was doing that made you, you know, get uncomfortable, but maybe instead of labeling these behaviors, you could tell us more specifically what you're wanting from her.
Okay. I understand, you know, someday I'll be gone. I couldn't be here with you all the time. I want you to develop more stronger, you know, relationship with your mother. That's what we didn't have. And that's one thing I really want to see to happen. Another thing I want from you is I want you to learn how to protect yourself.
Geraldine, you've been a little quiet over there, and there's a lot going on here. You've heard from Sherry, your daughter, and what her needs are, and you know, from your mother as well as to what hers are. Maybe could you try using your I statement and
Sure. I feel really left out. You know, I haven't been the one that's been calling her. I've been trying just to gently get myself back in her life. So I feel that I'm being kind of purposely dismissed, and I don't feel good about it. And that's how I feel.
so you're feeling left out.
I'm being accused of bugging my daughter when I'm not, and I'm being ignored by her grandmother. And so, you know, again, as I stated last week, sometimes I wonder why I'm even here.
Geraldine, do you feel like that you may be emotionally distancing yourself from the family because of this?
I mean, I guess why should I care? They'll do fine without me. I guess it was an accident, you know, that's what we hear, so. I mean, I just got out of jail, so I just came back to try to reconnect, but there's not much of an effort on their part to reconnect me, so why should I be concerned?
Well, Cherry and you both sort of, you know, discussed about feeling like you want to check out from the family or distance yourself sometimes because of hovering or because of, you know, feeling left out. Whereas Terry is feeling sort of the opposite, like she's feeling the need to really grab closer to her family and sort of pursue you guys. So it seems like we each have different needs here that need to be met, and I mean, we're all here meeting together to better this situation, and so in order to do that, we might need to look at like how we can best serve each other's needs, the need for.
You know, I want to tell you, Geraldine, when you said, of course, I didn't know how you felt, but I certainly feel I become more comfortable with you than, you know, compared to when you first just came home. And I really think it will be great if you and Cherry can reconnect. That was the part I missed the most as a mother, the connection with my child. And when you first came home, you were telling us, you know, we were trying really hard. At that point, I was not as ready as you were. But, you know, I want to tell you that that's my hope. I want to see you connect.
Very nice that you spoke to your daughter and told her what your needs are and how you felt. I would like to, you know, go back to something that was brought up earlier in the session, because sort of identifying where maybe our feelings of, if it's hovering or feeling left out and stuff, where those might stem from, might help us better understand why we feel the way we feel. And you, Sherry, had mentioned that the hovering, that you felt that your parents were hovering a lot. And so I had stated, do you feel like you're sort of the center of their world? And you said yes. And at Geraldine, both of you guys have been only children, and I'm wondering what that might mean to you.
I guess I never really thought about that, but yeah, I mean, for me, it might be nice. Some of my friends at school have like big families and brothers and sisters, and they don't seem, as scrutinized because parents got to keep track of a bunch of different kids, and they just kind of let them interact. But for me, there's no one to take the pressure off. I don't have any brother or sister getting in trouble, so it's just 24/7 focus on me. So I never thought about that, but yeah, it's a lot of too much attention. I think maybe it'd be easier if there was someone else around to take on the
Do you think, or how do you think all this attention that's been directed towards you through your grandma and your grandmother and your mother, like how might that affect your behaviors and attitude towards?
Well, I mean, kind of like I said, it's just like sometimes too much attention coming my way makes me want to disappear so I can have, I don't know, privacy maybe? I don't know what it is. But the more my grandma tells me, who you hang out with, don't hang out with these people, I find myself spending more time with them. Not just because I'm trying to be, rebel or something, but because I just want to get away from that constant focus. So yeah, it makes me want to do stuff outside of the house more. It just, makes me want to spend my entire weekend every day after school with my friends, because my friends just accept me for who I am and don't get on my case.
How do you think it feels, or how do you see the distancing yourself when you run away with your friends? How do you think that's affecting your grandmother and mother?
Well, I mean, so far, they redouble their efforts. It seems. I mean, it's like, so instead of 5 texts in an hour, I'll get 10, and then I'll pull away even more. So yeah, I guess it kind of makes things worse, but I just don't know how else to deal with it, except scream at them or something.
So you're sort of becoming aware of the cycle of the more you pull away, the more the hovering occurs.
Yeah, I think so. It's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse until we have a blow up fight or something.
And I also heard you say that you realize that you are the only child, and so your mom and grandmother might feel inclined to, want to deliver that extra attention towards you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're younger, it's different. I don't know. I mean, when it was grandpa and grandma, I liked all the attention, I guess. But that's when you're 8, 9 years old. You love having all that kind of attention from your family. But I'm a teenager now. It's just like in 4 years I'm going to be moving out and maybe get married or go to college or whatever I'm going to do. It's at a certain point, you just don't want to be babied all the time. Or you got to have your own life.
Talking about your grandpa, he was much easier when he was around. And he can make everybody laugh. And it was just, it was delightful. And he told me, before he left, before he passed away, and he said, I know you love Sherry, but you have to let things go because she's grown up. But I guess, that's something I'm scared of, that when she grows up and she can do all the things and she's got exposed to all the things, I cannot protect her anymore. But I'm also realize, yes, I will be gone someday. That's why I feel, and when I look back, what I miss the most was the connection with my child. And, you gave me the opportunity. When I was raising you, when we were together raising you, I felt your mom was there and you were there too. So I really encourage you, and don't give up and reconnect with each other.
So Terry, you're encouraging reconnection, but you also touched on that you've had a difficult time sort of creating your own identity outside of the family because you've been so involved with Geraldine and Cherry.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious, outside of your family,
Mm-hmm.
like, what sort of interests and things do you?
Well, Sherry knows I have a lot of friends and we play, golf together and yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like once every 6 months or something.
So you do have extracurricular activities you're interested in, but
Mhm.
you're not pursuing those.
I think I'm just overoccupied with what's happening with Sherry, and so, I needed something else like occupy my mind as well. Like he mentioned earlier, when I text him more or call him more, and he would pull away more. And for me, like when there was not respond, or I would, do more. So maybe,
I
Yeah.
would love that. If Grandma was hanging out with her friends more often, I'd be the one checking on her. Where are you? And then she wouldn't maybe not be so worried about me. She'd be having fun.
that would be a nice reverse.
It's important to understand, like maybe where some of why we do what we do. Is it because of you're her baby and you're her baby, and she's feeling this need to parent and be
To protect.
protect.
It's not a choice. It's what you do. Ask your mom about it.
And that these sort of cycles here, push people further away, and maybe if we can also find ourselves outside of our family unit, how that might benefit the family as a whole. And Geraldine's mentioned how she feels she's been feeling distant and isolated from the family. And so maybe going back to the I statement, if you could share with your mother or your
Well,
daughter.
I like what I'm hearing. To be more inclusive, all of us. I would feel a lot more connected. And I would feel that I wasn't being judged constantly, because I feel like that since I got out of prison, I'm being scrutinized too. Am I still doing drugs, or am I, doing illegal things? I'm on parole. I've got that whole set of eyes. So I feel like I'm being scrutinized, and I need to be trusted and accepted. So it's a two-way street, a three-way street. And I have said before, I'm not giving up. I'm here. I'm going to stay here, and one way or another, I'm going to be part of the family again. So.
You are. After the coma, I finally learned I feel nothing is more important than their safety. If you don't like to pick up the towels after death or whatever, let it go. As long as you're safe, I can chill.
Well, Geraldine's voice that she has she's committed to this process, although she's feeling somewhat alienated at this point. I'm wondering what you guys could do to help Geraldine continue to feel supported throughout this.
Well, I didn't even realize that you were feeling that way, to be honest. I know you got your Narcotics Anonymous meetings and you got other things going on. I just thought things were just a little awkward between us because obviously we don't know each other that well. But I don't feel like I'm judging you because I feel like I'm being judged and I want to not treat you the way, and I don't want to be treated. But I do admit it's like I tend to lump you guys together. So thinking about it, you're right. You're not one of the ones. You don't actually text me all the time and hover that much, but I kind of maybe put you in the same boat because you're both kind of authority over me. So I guess for me it's like, I don't know, starting to see grandma and mom as two different people, you know what I mean, and not just authority, one big authority, and then that might help. And of course, we just got to keep getting to know each other because there's just a kind of an awkwardness where I don't really know how to act all the time. And are we friends? Are we parent and child? It seems like kind of weird.
Your folks are not old enough. You don't know about old people. Well, you'll learn one day when you get old. It's very hard to change your habit when you get old. The towel is there. The red towel is on the left of the green towel is always there. And, as I now realize I was not judging you or anything, but maybe I was being too critical on the little things. If you like to switch the towel, that's fine. Or if you want to leave the dishes in the sink, don't do it right away. I guess as long as I stay out of the kitchen, I'll be fine. So, like Terry said, it's all, we don't know how each other feel. So how about, let's just be very honest, and I think the I statement's really helpful, how you feel, and maybe we can start from there.
I think that to sort of wrap up this session, summarize some of the tools or strategies we went over today to maybe help us, continue in our goal of, coming together as a family. It's just, using your I statements about what you want from the other person, and just being mindful of, you not, drawing in third parties to help, make a point. Whether it be mom and Geraldine or grandma and Geraldine trying to make a point to Sherry, or vice versa, Terry and Sherry, coming together to make your point to Geraldine. I think though, and we also talked about, whenever we are, trying to understand the other person's side and maybe where they might be coming from. I think the example that came up today is that, you guys have both been only children, and how that might affect grandma here and her need to feel like she wants to, be there for you guys and, constantly. But with that also comes, Terry, that it's important to have your own sense of self and, engage in leisurely activities and give your children some space to let them be their own individuals as well.
You know what? I really miss that golf course. So guess what? Dinner on yourself tonight.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm a grandma.
Can we take a nap?
Yay.